G'day guys, just a quick one today. How to change the engine oil on your Jimny. Couple of things you'll need. You're going to need some engine oil. It's always a good start. You'll need your oil filter. That's a Ryco Z734. Keeping in mind this is a M13A engine. Tooling wise, you're going to need your oil drop bucket, a couple of rags, funnel, some degreasers, always nice, 17mm spanner for your sump plug, and you'll also need a oil filter removal tool for your oil filter, which I don't have, so I'm going to try and get it off with my hands today. Fingers crossed. Now you want to run your engine up, get it to operating temperature, get that oil nice and hot. It just gets a little bit more dirty oil out that way when you go to drain it. I can't stress this enough. This is only an oil change. This is not a service. There is a lot more to a service than just an oil change. So if you're not sure what you're looking for in the vehicle inspection side of things, please just give your car to a mechanic. When you're choosing your oil in the shop, it's got this number on the bottle. So this one's 10W40. So that's your viscosity or thickness of your oil. The number's divided into two sections. So you got your 10W and your 40 is a second section. So the 40 means it's got a viscosity of 40 at operating temperature or 100 degrees, and your 10W is the viscosity of the oil basically when it's cold, because W means winter. The higher the number, the thicker the oil, which doesn't really make sense when you think about it, because when oil's hotter it gets thinner, but in all the sciencey bullshit that goes into this, the oil will act as a 10 weight when it's cold, even though it's thicker. So depending on where you live is how you choose your oil. I'm in a pretty mild climate, so it doesn't really get too cold in winter or too hot in summer. But if you're in a pretty hectic climate where you got really cold colds and really hot hots, you might want to look into your temperature chart compared to what oil you should be running. Righto, she's all warm now. Just pull your dipstick out. Just lets the engine breathe when you're draining the oil. And grab your spanner and your drain tub. And you want to undo that one there. Quick hands if you can. Now while that's draining, we can crack our oil filter. Now I can't find my oil filter tool anywhere, so this is it. I'm gonna try and do the old hands like vice trick. Alright, pretty lucky I didn't over tighten that last time. She's been draining for about 10 minutes now, so we can whack this sump plug back in. Make sure you got a washer on there. I'm just reusing the old one because I only replaced it last service. But if it's flat as a pancake, you might want to think about replacing it. Tighten this sump plug. Doesn't have to be overly tight, just firm. but tight enough to not rattle loose. Put your drain tub under your oil filter, which is things about there, because your oil filter will leak a little bit of oil when you take it off. All over the diff housing. That's why you want degreaser. When you pull your old oil filter off, make sure the O-ring comes off with the old filter, because sometimes it can stick to the oil filter housing, and if you don't realise, you'll double ring your oil filter and it won't seal, and you'll have oil go everywhere when you go to start the engine. So it's always good practice to just give the housing a quick wipe before you put the new one on. That way it cleans the surface and you can just check if the old O-ring is stuck to the housing. Now you got your new filter. You want to put a little bit of oil on that O-ring there. You can just grab a bit of old oil. That's what I normally do. New oil is probably better, but that's enough. So now you just want to put that on. And do it up by hand, not with a tool, please. You'll love yourself for it when you got to do it again next service. Just like that. Alright, now we're going to fill the oil back up. And I normally put 4 litres in. Righto, that's 4 litres. Put your cap back on. And now we'll start the engine to fill the oil filter full of oil. When you do that, make sure your oil light turns off as well. To give you an idea, that's 4 litres. I don't know if it's going to focus. It's not going to focus. It's just under full. And on a cold engine, that's where you want your level. Just under the full mark. Because when it heats up, it'll obviously get a bit higher than that. And that's it. Yeah, just degrease off your old oil. Remember to put your oil cap back on, because that's never fun. Well, if you watched this far, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it informative.